And here we are, spawning on King Chijung Station in the best of 3 series between Theo and Elazer. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of the map, we have our red Zerg player playing for AT Gaming. It is Elazer. And his opponent, we already saw 2 games from him. Against Revolver and against CPU. In both cases he was able to be victorious. It is going to be Theo for easy visualize. Now he was wishing Elazer a lot of good luck right there. So let's see if Elazer really going to need it. Because Elazer, a very powerful Zerg player, not the most well known, but I hope for him that is going to change very soon. But pretty much the same is the case for Theo. He is a very skilled Protoss player, but only recently joining a good team. So let's see what the future of these 2 players is going to be. Now Theo really likes to wall off against any Zerg player very early on in the game. And so he put that pylon a little bit away from his Nexus. But everything is looking pretty standard so far from Elazer too. Well, he got his spawning pool at 14 supply. So let's see how that is going to work out exactly. Now this is a 2-player map, so usually it is the wisest choice for a Zerg player to go for the spawning pool first. He also did not follow that up with any gas geyser, so he just wants to get that hatchery down. Still a very standard opening from both these players. Now this time there's not going to be a forge for Theo. He is opening up with a gateway, and he really likes to get the Nexus right after that before the cybernetics core can be put down. So let's see. He is going to be open for some very early Zergling harassment. There are 6 Zerglings on the way. The very early Nexus was spotted by the Overlord of Elazer, of course. So Theo will have to micro a little bit, because there's not going to be a mothership by the time that the Zerglings will hit his base. Now the probe has been sent out to scout out his opponent. It is once again in the vision of that Overlord. The probe has been seen. But the Zerglings are already on their way to the base of Theo. They will not cross paths, because the Zerglings do take another route. But there are 4 Zerglings, and this can actually be very annoying for Theo, because he did not spot those Zerglings anytime sooner. However, there is now 1 Zealot out, but that is not going to be enough against this amount of Zerglings. He really needs to get another pylon going or something to block that off, but the Zerglings will make it into that main base. They're here just a little bit too early. He thought he had the time, but he did not have that time. So an extra Zealot will get Corona boosted out. If you could get the pylon, that would be amazing already. But some amazing micro from Theo, already killing off one of the Zerglings. But that Zealot is getting pretty low on health. Probes are being pulled off the line too. They will start fighting these Zerglings, and now 2 Zealots are out. The probe even returning back home. Did it see anything? Yeah, did select the wrong thing. No, he did not see anything. He only checked on the 3rd base. He knew it wasn't there. Just wanted to know if there was a 3 hatch before pool, but that was not the case. We have a small pause coming down. I'm a little bit surprised that he is sending those pros back to his main mineral line, because the natural base is done anyway right now. But other than that, still a very standard game. Photon cannon is going to be on the way. No gas is being taken by Elazer, but of course Theo does not know this. But let's hope that this pause will not take too long, and so we can continue this game very soon. But actually, let's have a look at the resources lost. 1 Zergling for 1 probe has been lost, I do believe. Yeah, so definitely a trade that Elazer would want to take, but he produced quite a few Zerglings, and those Zerglings are not going to do anything for quite some time. These Zerglings could have been drones, and that would have been 4 extra drones. So let's see. The Mothership Core is now going to be able to scout out what Elazer really is up to. You will get a confirmation on that 3rd base, and we'll have a look in that natural base. If things get dicey, you will be able to recall out of there. But still, no gas is taken for Elazer. Warp gate research has not been started for Theo. What is he using that gas on? First he wants to get the Stargate, not prioritizing that warp gate research at all. And it looks like he wants to go for an insanely fast third base, but that is not going to happen with the amount of Zerglings that are already here. The probe immediately turns around. Oh, wants to circumvent those units. Probe is going to block it with a pylon. Very nice micro from Theo. Now these Zerglings actually do get trapped, so he's going to lose them all, which means that the third base will be able to be taken. And if Elazer is not producing those Zerglings to get rid of that third base very soon, that is not going to happen. Theo immediately putting down one extra pylon there too, so he can cannon that up a little bit, and he is most likely going to produce a little bit of a wall off for any of the next attacks that might come through. Now the Stargate has been produced. He has not made any units from it just yet, however, but the Overlord did spot it. He's getting out of there, and immediately Theo is going to go into a robotics facility. Finally, we do see that Stargate being used, going into the Oracle, but still everything is looking pretty standard for Elazer. He's going for the double evolution chamber pretty early on. Very nice of him right there. He's getting Spore Crawls inside every base, of course. Well, only in the natural base so far, but he should get them in the other bases fairly soon too. Otherwise, he's going to have some trouble with that Oracle. But his saturation is looking pretty good. At 58 drones already, going up to 5 gases right now, so he can set up for the later stage of the game. And it looks like he is going for a Zergling heavy style. +1/+1 for his Zerglings on the way. Spore Crawlers now also inside the main base, and will be built inside that third base. The Oracle, however, is out. Void Ray is going to follow that up with Colossus Tech going to come through. Well, picking up a creep tumor already very nice, but that still cost him 25 energy to start it. Going for the Zerglings now, and look at that micro, killing them off as efficiently as possible. 6 kills on that Oracle already. He knows that he's most likely not going to get any other kills. Wait, was that a worker that he killed off? Yeah, he killed off one of the drones too. Well, you can't wish for any better micro than that, any better damage. Well, maybe if you can, if there would be no queens and no spore crawls, then he would get more damage done. But that was not the case in this game. Now there we go. Wall-off has started. Changeling was dropped, but it will get taken out. And the Zerglings will be sent forward towards the back rocks, it looks like. But of course Theo will see this immediately with his assimilator. And with a Colossus on the way, should not be doing too much damage. Fourth base for Elazer has been put down pretty late actually, because no pressure from Theo is going to come out on the map anytime soon anyway. But the pylon has been dropped down. He sees the Zerglings. Oh, that Oracle still trying to get some damage done. He killed off an extra worker, I do believe. Yeah, he got 2 workers. And now with the Void Ray out, yeah, those rocks are not going to go down anytime soon. But +1/+1 for the Zerglings is now going to be done. One probe actually sneaking by those Zerglings. Let's be very careful. He's sending out a lot of probes forward actually. He probably misread those units. A little bit sloppy maybe, but let's see. Zerglings and the Hydralisks are going to try and hit their timing, but there's already one Colossus out. There's going to be Photon Overcharge on the Mothership Core, I do believe. Where's that Mothership Core? It's out of position just a little bit. The Zerglings are between the 2 bases. The Void Ray will be very nice for the extra damage. He's focusing down on top of that forge. Is he going to get it? I do believe so, which is going to be very nice. There's no thermal lance on top of the Colossus just yet. Beautiful time warp going to come down. Colossus still has to be very careful. Pros being pulled off the line just to make sure that the units do not get any closer. The 2 Colossi against a bunch of Hydralisks, not really going to be the attack that you want to go for. They will just melt through these units. He lost a few probes right there, but Elazer lost his entire army, and Theo taking the supply lead at this point. And that third base was not harmed at all. How many workers did he kill off? He killed off 11 workers. Still very nice, but Theo is still at 73 probes right now. Thermal Lance nearing completion. He killed off 2 Void Rays too, which is very nice. But there is now triple Void Ray production, and the Colossus 1 at a time. He's once again going for that Doom army, that Death Ball army. But now 12 Mutalisk on the production tab for Elazer. He went for that Spire. He has a lot of gas to work with. But with 3 Stargates already out on the map, let's see how that is going to work out. Mutalisks will do very well against Void Rays, because Void Rays don't do that bonus damage, and the splash damage from the Mutalisks will tear through those Void Rays quite quickly. But there is the Phoenix production. 5 extra gateways have just been started. Where is the Photon Overcharge? The Mothership Core was taken out, I do believe. The Mothership Core is now with the rest of the army yet, so no energy for Photon Overcharge just yet. The Stalkers will be able to fight just a little bit. The Void Rays, even though they're not great against Mutalisk, they will be chipping in their extra damage. Also, the Colossi are going to be targeted because the Ling Flood is going to come through. The Void Rays fighting whatever they can. Photon Overcharge is going to be casted. He just hit that 100 energy mark, but 3 Phoenixes are already out, so he will be able to micro against this amount of Mutalisks, but he has to multitask pretty heavily because there are Zerglings inside his third base. The Mutalisks all been taken out, but now there are also going to be Corruptors. All these Zerglings gonna find their demise, and a lot of workers were taken out. 21 in total, but the Colossus remain alive. He lost all of his Void Rays, I do believe. But now, with 8 Corruptors on the production tab, the army of Elazer will start looking very scary. Looking at the units tab, we do see 8 Mutalisks right now. There are 11 Corruptors about to pop, and 32 more Zerglings. Now, Zerg players apparently really liking that Sky army that they have. But the Phoenixes, if they do get high enough in number, they will shred through that army pretty quickly. So let's see what the response from Theo is going to be. He's going for the Dark Shrine. He's going to go for the High Templars, for the Templar Archives, of course. And he's still producing Colossi. I'm not quite sure how I like that. It's going to be very nice against the... Zerglings, of course. But he already has 2 of them. And some Stalkers to deal with that would be a lot nicer. Blink also a long way away from finishing up. And there is no Fleet Beacon out on the map. So no any impulse crystals just yet. He's killing off a few of his own workers at the base of Elazer. And the Colossus will make sure that those Zerglings will not do any more damage. Those Phoenixes, however, do have to get out of there. He loses one of them for free. Well, at least he got one of the Mutalisks. But other than that, he did not get anything done. Proxy pilots on the map do get cleaned up everywhere. Some Zealots were sent for the harassment. Looking at the upgrades, they're 1-1 against the 2-2 Zerglings. So those Zealots are not going to be able to trade cost efficiently at all. But this time, Dark Templars are going to be added to this army. The Corruptors still fighting against the Phoenix, trying to chase them down, but of course the Phoenixes are quite a bit faster, and if the micro is good, then Theo should not be able to lose any of those Phoenixes. But the Overseer is now here. Dark Templars will get cleaned up. They're not going to get any more damage done. Oh, and the Mutalisk numbers are actually not... Well, they are pretty high. 70 Mutalisks. He just produced quite a few of them. 5 more on the production tab. He really needs to get that Fleet Beacon going for the anti-impulse crystals. But the 4th base for Theo also going to be on the way. Zerglings are just streaming across the map everywhere. The macro of Elazer is just looking insanely powerful. And there's no good answer against this amount of Corruptors, really. The only good thing about this is, though, is that the Corruptors are not going to find the ground army of Theo anytime soon. And the Mutalisks are being caught out of position quite a bit. How many did he lose? He lost 18 Mutalisks already against the 3 Phoenixes that were lost for Theo. So now also Archons have just been morphed. He's going into that Zealot speed to deal with those Zerglings just a little bit better. But the upgrades are still lacking for him quite a bit. And the Mutalisks once again flying into that natural base. That's a lot of Mutalisks, and they will tear through the amount of probes that is here. He's trying... Well, he had the photon cannons to defend against those Zerglings. Photon overcharge is going to go down. But he might even be able to get this Nexus. The Mutalisks, however, are not going to commit just yet. The Archons are trying to bait them out. They get a few shots off. The Corruptors are not going to regenerate that health anytime soon. But this amount of Mutalisks will be able to kill off those units quite quickly. Oh, beautiful splash damage from that Archon. It does die, however. And a big battle is going to continue. Colossi will be doing the damage against the Zerglings, but what will be able to do the damage against the Corruptors? There are a few Blink Stalkers right now. But is there going to be enough? He's going to lose all of those Colossi, but at the same time a lot of Corruptors will fall, and also a lot of Mutalisks have found their demise. Only 13 left on the map, 7 more on the production tab, and Theo is now at the 5th base of Elazer right now. Will it come to the big battle? There are a lot of Blink Stalkers here. They don't have good upgrades, however. They are still at +1/+1. Nice Blink Micro, however. And some workers will fall. The Mutalisks will be able to clean this up, albeit barely. That was a huge trade, and looking at the resource loss tab, we do see it's still very equal, but currently Elazer does have a very big supply lead, and I don't think that Theo will be able to hold on too much longer. He has been working off of those 5 bases for quite some time. And no more harassment possibilities. He only has 1 more pylon that is left here, but there are Spine Crawlers and a Spore Crawler inside this base, so Dark Templar is not going to do anything in that position, and he is going to go fly in. The Archons will do quite a bit of splash damage, but it is not going to be enough against this amount of Mutalisks. Those Mutalisks so insanely powerful, and the Mutalisks are at +2/+1, and there is the GG. Elazer taking game number 1.